I'm Blake X, and this is another Nuclear Reaction. What's up, survivors? So today, another item from the Infinite List. This was requested by William Drake, and this is going to be Sabaton, the song Fields of Verdun. Now, I'm sure a certain dinosaur in the Nuclear family will be very happy to see this reaction. And to my knowledge, this is only the second time I'll be hearing Sabaton. Well, technically, I go to these listening sessions online on Discord. We call it the Music Lounge. And hang out there online with some friends of mine, and we listen to music. And I think at one point or another, one or two Sabaton songs have been played, but I don't believe they were Fields of Verdun. So, genuine first-time reaction, as far as I know, to this song. And this is not part of the power metal journey or anything like that. I'm just tackling more items from the Infinite List. The backlog is really fucking huge. So yeah, this is my second time reacting to Sabaton on this channel. The first song was called To Hell and Back, and that was during the power metal journey. And for those who missed that journey, there will be a part 2 to that eventually, hopefully sooner than later. And while we're on the subject of journeys, obviously I haven't gone on the gothic metal journey yet, as I was talking about quite a bit last month. January has been like a weird and hectic month for me in terms of the channel, in terms of putting up content. So February is going to be the month, a few days away from now, where the gothic metal journey will officially start. So look forward to that if you've been interested. And if you're a Typo Negative fan, stay tuned, because there should be plenty of reactions to that as well during the journey. So just something to think about if you're a fan of the band. Okay, Fields of Verdun. I'm aware that there also is an official music video for this song, but at the risk of this video getting blocked, I don't want to take that chance. So what I'm going to be checking out is the lyric video, which will come in handy. And also, I have the lyrics pulled up as usual. And let's jump in. Of course, also, as usual, check out patreon.com/nuclearreactions if you're interested. You can join for as low as $2 a month, get access to all kinds of exclusive bonus content. And if you want to, there's a tier on Patreon called Tier 5, the $80 tier. That's a great way to get your request bumped up and to guarantee a reaction to it. It's a sort of way of circumventing the Infinite List. Anyone who makes requests and comments, all the requests that I see that catch my eye will always make it onto the Infinite List, and if it's on the Infinite List, I'll get to it eventually. But if you join the $80 tier, that's just a way to guarantee your request and to get it that much sooner. So just something to keep in mind. No pressure. You don't have to join if you don't want to. It's just there in the description beneath the video if you just want to check it out. Also in the description, you'll find the links to the official merch store, Yellow Nuclear Shop, and the Facebook group, The Mushroom Cloud. All great ways to enhance your experience as a member of the Nuclear family. So just something to consider. All right, Fields of Verdun by Sabaton. Let's check this out in 3, 2, 1. Go.
As the drum roll started on that day, 100 miles away, a million shells were fired, and the green fields turned to gray. The bombardment lasted all day long, yet the forts were standing strong. Heavily defended, now the traps been sprung and the battle's begun. Descending to darkness.
I really like this so far.
303 days below the sun, Fields of Verdun, and the battle has begun. No way to run, father and son, fall one by one under the gun. Thy will be done, and the judgment has begun. No way to run, father and son, fall one by one, Fields of Verdun.
I really love the melody in this. I love the sound of the vocals. It's an interesting vocal style, especially for power metal. And I just like the general structure and the general cadence of the voice and the sound of the instruments. It all comes together very nicely. It's very exciting. It's sort of sweeping and epic and upbeat feeling, which is interesting given the subject matter here, because obviously the subject matter, I'm reading the lyrics as they pop up on the screen, and it's a very, very dark subject matter. So it's interesting how the sound kind of contrasts with the actual, lyrical content. And we'll get to that after, but it's just something I wanted to make a quick comment on. So it's very interesting. And if I compare this to the last Sabaton song that I heard, I like this one much more. Like, To Hell and Back, if I'm remembering correctly, I enjoyed that one, but I didn't give it, the highest of ratings, This one, I can already tell you that I feel I would rank this higher than To Hell and Back. So that's something very, very good. I'm really digging this so far, so let's continue.
Million shells have scarred the land, or has the upper hand. From the ground above to trenches, where the soldiers make their stand. As the trenches slowly turn to mud, and they quickly start to flood. As the waves in every corner, as they guide about through the trenches with blood.
This part I really like here.
303 days below the sun feels overdone, and the battle has begun. No way to run, father and son fall one by one under the gun. They will be done.
I like the guitar right here as well. Sounds great.
Father and son fall one by one, feels overdone. Fields of execution turn to wasteland.
I like that atmosphere in the back there.
Thou shalt go no further, it was said they shall not pass. The spirit of resistance and the madness of the war. So go ahead.
What I like about this is that it has a nice balance of not only the upbeat kind of vibe I was mentioning a few minutes ago, but also it maintains a certain level of heaviness and aggression. I mean, as heavy and aggressive as he could be in power metal, but still, it's a nice balance of the two. One doesn't overpower the other, and by having a really upbeat sounding song, it doesn't throw off the overall heaviness of it. It's just those two elements work very well together in this song. That's something I really like, so I had to point that out. And yeah, this is a song that has a guitar sound that will stick in your head and a chorus and melody that will stick in your head. At least, I mean, I can only speak for myself. It'll definitely stick in my head. It already is. So that's very cool. And I see this is only a little bit over 3 minutes long, and I wish the song was much longer because I'm actually quite enjoying it. So pretty cool stuff, man. I'm glad I gave Sabaton another chance. Yeah, this is worlds better than the last song I heard by them. So I like it. Let's finish it up.
Face the lead, join the dead, though you die, where you lie, never asking why.
See what I mean? It's like upbeat, but it's still heavy at the same time, in its own way. I love this part.
303 days below the sun feels overdone, and the battle has begun. No way to run, father and son fall one by one under the gun. They will be done, and the judgment has begun. No way to run, father and son fall one by one, feels overdone.
Wow. Okay, so initial thoughts. I'm still actually processing this music. As much as I liked it, it's like I'm trying to decide on what things I want to comment on first. This was a very, very good song, and I really enjoyed it. I wouldn't say that it was like mind-blowingly enjoyable, but it was pretty damn good. I would definitely listen to this one again. Yeah, it's just, you know what it is. I can almost pinpoint, I think, what gave this song its epic sounding quality, to me anyway. I can kind of pinpoint exactly what it was. And what I think that it was the atmosphere. It was very, very much like a very subtle touch. I didn't even really pick up on it until like halfway through the song. That's when I kind of commented on it. It kind of just slowly dawned on me as I was listening to it that there was this, you know, almost a whisper of like an underlying atmosphere beneath the heaviness and, you know, the fast pace of the song. So that was pretty cool, and I think that's overall what gave it that sweeping epic kind of feeling that I was talking about at the very beginning. And that combined with the heavy guitar, the generally fast pace of the song, the vocals, which were very rich and resonant sounding, and the fast-paced drumming, that all came together so nicely, and it made for such a nice package and really an enjoyable song. And like I said, this isn't to me something that's extremely phenomenal, but it is very, very good. And if I had to pick this one versus To Hell and Back, which was the first Sabaton song that I reacted to, this one wins, you know, no contest. I mean, this one is, to me anyway, worlds more enjoyable. And if you'll remember, I did enjoy the other song, but not nearly as much as this one. So that's what I think of the music. Really, really good stuff. William Drake, thank you for the suggestion. Really good choice. I guess you knew that I would like this one. So yeah, musically very much on point. Let's get to the lyrics. As the drum roll started on that day, heard 100 miles away, a million shells were fired, and the green fields turned to gray. The bombardment lasted all day long, yet the forts were standing strong. Heavily defended, now the trap's been sprung, and the battle has begun. Descended to darkness, 303 days below the sun. Fields of Verdun, and the battle has begun. Nowhere to run, father and son, fall one by one under the gun. Thy will be done, and the judgment has begun. Though a million shells have scarred the land, no one has the upper hand, from the ground above to trenches where the soldiers make their stand, as the trenches slowly turn to mud, and then quickly start to flood. Death awaits in every corner, as they die in the mud, fill the trenches with blood. Fields of execution turn to wasteland from the grass. Thou shalt go no further, it was said, they shall not pass. The spirit of resistance and the madness of the war. So go ahead, face the lead, join the dead, though you die where you lie, never asking why. So I got to think about this one for a minute. It's interesting. So Verdun, that's the first thing I want to talk about, because so my knowledge of specific battles during the World Wars is definitely lacking. Like, I'm much more knowledgeable about ancient history rather than, I don't know, 19th century and beyond. We'll just say that. But I think the fields of Verdun were the site of a battle, and I'm going to say that I think it was probably during World War I. I'm not sure. I could be totally wrong about that, so any history or war buffs on this channel, feel free to let me know in the comments beneath the video. And Verdun, the other thing is, I think that's French, because the French word for green is vert, vert, no, I'm butchering the pronunciation, but that's the French word for green. So, and I know that from visiting France and drinking absinthe, la feuille verte, so vert, that's a word that means green, and the title of the song is Fields of Verdun. So I'm assuming, once again, that this was some kind of site of a major battle in France during World War I or II, and so I think this song is just describing the battle taking place, like trying to take the listener to that time period, mentally, and trying to get you to visualize this war taking place. Does it succeed in doing that? In terms of the visuals and really taking you there as you listen to it? It does a little bit, but I think it could have done a little bit better at that. Because I was focusing on the lyrics and what they had to say, but I was more focusing on the music. To me, the music was more captivating than the story that was being told through the music. So maybe that was just me. That was just how I was listening to it for the first time. But I think these lyrics are well written, but I think they could have gone farther and deeper and had a bit more to say on the matter. But I will say that I like that this song isn't glorifying war, but instead it's like demonstrating the horror and the tragedy of war. Because it's telling a story about a father and a son who fight and die side by side. And you have lines like, descend into darkness, though you die where you lie, never asking why. It's the tragedy of people whose lives are wasted away, after being basically pushed around like chess pieces by the people in power, right? And even when wars are justified and they need to be fought, it doesn't change the fact that war itself is horrific. And I think that is very much what this song is underscoring. Just one of many things that it's touching upon. So I like that the song tries to capture that. Although, again, I think it could have gone deeper. And for that reason, I'm not going to praise the lyrics here too much. And I also know that the main job of this song is to simply tell the story of this battle in Verdun. But there is a little bit too much lyrical repetition and simplicity for me here. If I had to make a criticism, I wish this song would have had bigger aspirations, lyrically speaking. Because even if you're just telling the story of the battle itself, you could have done so much more here. So that's just something that I have to, criticize. But again, in my opinion, the element of tragedy is there, and I'm not knocking, by the way, soldiers and people who give their lives for their country. I'm a full supporter of, troops who fight for that, even if I may not support the wars themselves. The warriors are still the defenders of our livelihood and of our liberties, and I do think that people forget that too easily in this modern day. That truth sort of gets lost in these anti-war narratives, right? So that's something, but that's a conversation for another time, but I just wanted to say that. The point is, though, the point that I'm trying to make here is that another tragedy, or another tragic quality of a lot of wars, is the death toll of non-soldiers, right? And not only non-soldiers, but also soldiers who weren't cut out to be soldiers. And to me, that's the problem, or one of the problems with the draft, right? Like, people who want to serve their country and are mentally prepared and have a certain physical strength and strength of will, those to me are soldiers. And that's why things like, conscientious objector status are really important, I think, if we ever have another draft. Because I'm pretty sure where it says nowhere to run, father and son, that father and son were probably either victims in this story or just, soldiers by necessity, not by choice. In other words, they were pushed into a situation where they had to fight for their lives. And I remember when I lived in this town in northwestern New Jersey, many years ago. And there was this military recruiter going around trying to get young people to join the military. And I remember he pulled up on the side of the road and asked me if I wanted to join the army, And so, of course, I told him no, That's just not who I am. I never will be. And so I remember he asked me, well, what are you going to do with your life? And I said something like, at the time I said that I wanted to be a writer and an artist, And I remember that he looked at me with one of the most condescending, disgusted looks I've ever seen. As if that was like such a ridiculous answer to give, So I remember always seeing that guy drive around and trying to talk to people my age, and I didn't like the guy at all. And it just rubbed me the wrong way, because this was a town with people who were jobless and desperate, and it was a big drug town. A lot of people turned to drugs and still do over there. And a lot of people basically who might be convinced to join the military for the wrong reasons. So to me, the idea of someone being a soldier who was never supposed to be, that's one thing that this song makes me think about. And for me, it also ties into the song's title, in a way, Fields of Verdun, because Verdun is probably not a place so much as it's an idea, is what I'm thinking, or it may be both. So if that were the case, then the title would basically be Fields of Green. And I think that's saying that these pristine, pure green fields were soiled and bloodied by this terrible war. So it's like the loss of innocence, the loss of safety and security. This one peaceful green field is now turned into a blood-soaked battlefield, essentially. And so if that's what the title is trying to say, I like the idea that it embodies, and I think that was definitely well expressed in the title. And how it ties into what I was saying before is this. I think it's kind of that way with people also, who just aren't cut out for the military. Like, they're just sort of innocent and then they get killed. Very much like the father and son mentioned in the lyrics here. And again, I'm sure a lot of Sabaton fans and a lot of people watching this have their own opinions about the military. And I'm not going on any kind of tangent that's meant to disrespect soldiers or any of the things that they do, for their countries, because I don't feel that way at all, But what I am saying is that I believe certain people are cut out to be soldiers, and then certain people just aren't. So, just something interesting to think about. Or at the very least, something interesting that the song made me think about. And I know that the song wasn't really touching upon that so much lyrically, but it did, get that spark of thought going in my head. So it's just something that I wanted to mention. Just taken as a song and as a story in and of itself, the lyrics are decently written, like they are. I like how it describes the blood and the savagery of the whole thing, and the sort of fatal futility that these soldiers feel. And just how it's described, descend into darkness 303 days below the sun, After hearing the song, reading this does take me into this story visually a little bit. Like, it does produce imagery in my head. So I have to give points for that. It does achieve that after all, now that I think about it. But, again, as well as the song was written, I think more could have been added to it. Maybe just because I like reading and, I like reading about history sometimes. So for that reason, the fact that this song is so interesting as a story with a lot of truth to it, a glimpse into history is a good way to put it. Because of that, I almost am kind of left wanting more, after I read these lyrics. So I do think they could have gone a little bit farther and been a little bit more well executed, but they were still very well written. So that's my takeaway on that. Music-wise, it was really awesome. I really, really enjoyed this song. You could be sure I'll be listening to this song again. And I'm looking forward to more Sabaton in the future now, in a way that I wasn't before. I think I heard the one song, I reacted to it, I kind of liked it, and then after that, I feel like I unintentionally just kind of dismissed the band, and I'm not sure why. So this definitely gets my interest going again in this music. So I'm going to be reacting to Sabaton again in the future. That's an absolute positive, sure thing. So, Fields of Verdun, everything's taken into consideration, the music, the lyrics, the message, all those things considered. I'm going to rate this one a strong 11 out of 12 for the Doomsday Clock. I think that's a fair rating. Good stuff, man. Fields of Verdun. Thank you once again to William Drake for the request. And that's one less item on the infinite list. All right, guys. That's my review, my analysis. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching this. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. All it takes is one click. Don't forget to check out patreon.com/nuclearreactions. And that's all for now. Much love and respect to the nuclear family, and I will catch you all on the next one.